Within the silence of this hole, I hear the heavy iron coal. The world is fading to a spark, a single point within the dark. The chalk is incense for the soul, to keep the shifting mind in control. The iron monk with eyes of glass, I watch the weary shadows pass. No more fatigue, no more regret. The greatest stage is opening, yeah! Subject to your titanic will. The heavy wood, the cold pressed steel, the only truth that you can feel. One final breath to lock the frame before you give the ghost a name. The gravity begins to yield upon this dark and holy field. The iron monk has found the light within the middle of the night. Close your eyes while they're open, see the target through the fog. You're not a man in a gym, you're an apex predator in a bog. The music is a pulse, bypass the ears, go straight to the spine. Everything you feel right now is perfectly, biblically fine. The burning isn't damage, it's the sound of the chains falling off. All the skeptics in the balcony stay silent and the failure scoff. I'm planting a seed in your cortex, fatigue is a lie. A biological glitch that we're about to bypass and defy. Subliminal dominance, rewire the circuits of fear. The harder it gets, the more that the pathway is clear. I'm the ghost in the machine, the glitch and the pain, washing the doubt away with the digital rain. Enter the trance, join the dance. Subliminal dominance, join the dance. Subliminal dominance, rewiring the circuits of fear. The harder it gets, the more that the pathway is clear. I'm the ghost in the machine, the glitch and the pain, washing the doubt away with the digital rain. Join the dance, subliminal dominance. Join the dance, subliminal dominance. 1 kilometer of concrete, 8 times the weight of the world. The flags are waving in the distance, but your vision is blurred. As God was a ghost, the sled was a mountain of lead. Now the Burbies are counting the sins that you've kept in your head. Your grip is failing, then the sandbag feels like a dying star, reminding you exactly how weak and how human you are. But humans don't win here, only the shadows survive. Those who stopped asking why just to stay alive.
This is the aid station, where the legends are ground into dust, where the steel of your will meets the corrosive acid of rust. Don't look at the lights, don't look at the man to your left. This is a solo performance in the theater of breath.
Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. Listen to the friction of the sled, it's the sound of your skin. The audience is screaming, but the sound of your screaming within your central nervous system is a house of cards in a gale, waiting for the moment your trembling legs finally fail. But I am the voice in the static, the anchor in the storm. I am the blueprint of the power you're beginning to form. The finish line isn't a ribbon, it's an altar of bone, where you sacrifice the boy to stand on the throne alone.
This is the aid station, where the legends are ground into dust, where the steel of your will meets the corrosive acid of rust. Don't look at the lights, don't look at the man to your left. This is a solo performance in the theater of breath.
Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. Drive, pull, run, repeat until the heart stops the beat. The clock is a predator circling the room with a cold digital eye, while you're staring at the wall, wondering if today's the day you die. Your lungs are two bellows, pumping embers into a dying fire. Every fiber in your quads is a tension wire screaming higher. You remember the person who walked in, that ghost is already dead, replaced by the mechanical whisper screaming inside of your head. It's not about the reps, it's about the soul you're trying to refine, turning the lead in your veins into gold, 1 inch at a time. wall isn't a metaphor, it's a physical beast, clawing at your throat, inviting your ego to the final feast. The lactic acid is a flood rising up to drown your resolve. But this isn't a problem for a human, it's a riddle for a machine to solve. Switch the circuit, toggle the switch, divert the power to the core. You've been here 1,000 times, and you'll be here 1,000 more. The sweat on the floor is the map of the territory you've won. The shadow you're chasing is just the man you've already outrun. I am the ocean of time. I designed the stakes of Ukraine, building a kingdom of power on top of your comfort screen. Hybrid heart, iron lungs, a mind that never sleeps. The harvest is brutal because the mountain is dead. Finish the set, own the dead architect. 30 seconds of pure fury, judge and executioner and jury. The green light is a violent sign to cross the dark and jagged line. Explode like stars against the night. And claim your primal ancient right. The timer falls just like a blade, where every single debt is paid. Work and rest and live when death. We trade the soul for every breath. The red light comes to bring the peace, a short and desperate release. But do not let the spirit fade. Prepare for the upcoming raid. Another round, another war. Give me what you were born for. The sweat is blinding every eye beneath the neon digital sky. The heart is drumming in the chest to put the ego to the rest. Don't count the sets, don't count the time, just focus on the brutal claw. The final interval is here.
never-ending brutal test, but gravity is just a lie for those who are afraid to fly. With every rep I claim my prize and watch the fallen kingdom The knurling bites into the skin, a testament to what's within. The gravity is fighting back as everything is turning black. Don't let it slip, don't let it go. Let the inner monster show. The iron blade begins to sing of every bell that you can ring. 1,000 pounds of pure intent until the final drop is spent. Release the bar, the ground will shake for every record that you
run beneath the cold and setting sun. A master of the dual art, with fire in the hybrid heart. The ghost that haunts the track and field, the one who will not ever yield. A total functional design that blurs the traditional line. Adapt and grow, evolve and climb outside the boundaries of time. The hybrid ghost will never fade. Inside the heavy dark parade.
Final five is closing in, where the real work will begin. The tank is dry, the vision blurred, but not a single yielding word. The heavy atmosphere of grit, where only champions will sit. Finish the set and seal the fate. Finish the set and seal the fate. Before you reach the Iron Gate. Finish the set and
of suffering is full, a debt that's written in the sweat, the hardest price you've ever met. The monitor is counting down while you are trying not to drown. The debt collector wants his pay. In the middle of the gray, roll through the fire and the dark until you find the hidden The legs are lead, the back is thin, while the demons start to grin. But handle turns and steady pace will win this cold and lonely race. Finish the stroke and feel the pride with nothing left for you to hide. 500 meters left to go. Inside the heavy ring flow, the lungs are screaming for the air, more than a human soul can bear. Don't shorten up, don't lose the form, stay the anchor in the storm.
SMB, the work is through. The power now belongs to you. Breathe in and let it settle. Test the spirit, test the metal. The muscles ache, the mind is clear, leaving every single fear. A transformation has occurred without a single spoken word. The quiet after the assault, where every weakness finds its fault. The dark cool down has just begun. Beneath the pale and dying sun, respect the work and feel the gain, and find the beauty in the pain. The dark cool down has just begun. Beneath the pale and dying sun, respect the work and feel the gain, and find the beauty in the pain. Walk away with head held high, beneath the dark and silent sky. The gym is empty, lights are out, without a shadow of a doubt. The king returns to claim the night, until the coming of the light. The dark cool down has just begun. Beneath the pale and dying sun, respect the work and feel the gain, and find the beauty in the pain. The dark cool down has just begun. Beneath the pale and dying sun, respect the work and feel the gain, and find the beauty in the pain. Within the silence of this hole, I hear the heavy iron call. The world is fading to a spark, a single point within the dark. The chalk is incense for the soul.